Hello, welcome back to Cooking with Crump. Today I'm going to be making one of my family's more basic recipes we used to do when I was a kid that we always loved. It's called chicken salad sandwich, and it's basically one of those things that's like when you want like a quick lunch or a picnic or something like that, it's excellent for. So first we have the canned chicken. We gotta open these and drain them. Okay, so I just wanted to show you and compare you since we have multiple cans, regular can opener versus the Pepper Chef one. So this is just like a standard one you can get from anywhere. I think me and my husband got this one from Winco. But yeah, you all know how to use a standard can opener, I'm sure. So you like that, and the can lid is stuck in. It says drain it first so I don't make a mess. So then, after opening that and draining it, you see how the lid kind of fell on the inside, and it's kind of dangerous to take it out. So you have to usually get like a butter knife or something to do it. That way you do it safely because these edges are really sharp and you'll cut yourself if you don't get a butter knife or something else. And then you gotta tuck it back in so that nobody gets cut on it, so it doesn't break your garbage bag either. So there's a regular can opener. And then these, I find you typically have to replace them a lot because after like a year or two of using them, they start, when they go around, they start leaving spots that don't get cut. And then you have to like try and go over it again. Usually it doesn't work very well. So I usually end up having to like jam down on it to break it or just pry it open with a lot of force. And this one's been doing that like hit or miss, which means it's about that point where it would need replaced. We got lucky with the other can, it didn't do that to us, but it has been doing that to me a lot more frequently lately. But that's okay, because now I have the Pampered Chef one, and so I'll probably throw that one away. But you just put this down so this kind of flat, and then you just spin it. Switch hands. Alright, and so now it's over to the edge because it's twisting more easily, so you just twist it backwards to unlock it. And then you just use the little clippies to pull it off. And there's no sharp edges on this, no one's going to get cut or hurt. The Pampered Chef one is a lot easier and safer to use. And the only time I've ever had a problem using this one is if the can edge itself is bent. Then it has a little bit of trouble getting around the bent part. Okay, so now that we have all of our chicken in our bowl here, I'm going to use the little twist and chop, and we're going to kind of break the chicken up. So it's smaller chunks. See, it's a lot smaller chunks now. So now we start adding some of the other ingredients. So first what we're going to add is we're going to add some fresh spinach. And you can add lettuce and stuff too if you wanted. It doesn't really matter too much. So, but my family, we typically like using spinach. I got the mini scraper, so I kind of scrape all the chicken out of the inside of this thing. Because now that we have everything kind of broken up, we can just stir it all manually now, the rest of the way. So I'll probably use the mini scraper to stir it, and then I can also use this to scrape up the small can of the green chilies over there. And then you can add more vegetables and stuff to it as well if you wanted. I'm just giving you the basic, most standard recipe or procedure, I guess you could say. Because I do want it to be a little bit more filling, I'm actually going to add the diced green chili can to it, since I had that here in my cupboard already. It's not something I have added to it before, but because I've had it before, I know that the flavor of it should go pretty well. So I'm going to get this kind of mixed in a little bit, fold it in. That way the spinach is kind of evenly distributed throughout the chicken here. And so I can probably add our can of green chilies as well while we're doing this part. And these are just mild chilies, so they're not going to be too spicy or anything like that if you're someone who doesn't like spice very much. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and dump those in there. And they'll add a little bit of wetness, so I'll probably put less of the mayonnaise and stuff in there than I would normally put. I washed my spatula, so I don't have to worry about cross-contamination. I probably should have got the mayo out before I did the initial stir. I wouldn't have had to do that extra step there. But yeah, for this particular recipe, I would use mayonnaise instead of Miracle Whip because Miracle Whip has a sweetness to it, like it's got like sugar and stuff added to it. And you'll want this to be more savory and less sweet in order for it to taste good. Like, you can still use Miracle Whip and it'll taste fine. I just personally prefer less sweet. Add a decent amount of Miracle Whip or mayonnaise because that's going to be our binder. It's going to be what holds everything together. So there's a decent amount of that in there now. And then we're going to add a little bit of mustard for flavor. Always shake your mustard first or you're going to have weird liquid trails. And that's no fun. Alright, so we're going to add a little bit of mustard for flavor. And then we're also going to add in some pepper. Add some pepper, because pepper is good and most things. Fresh cracked pepper smells so good. Anyway. And this is a Pepper Chef salt, pepper, shaker thing. Grinder. They have a set, is the salt and the pepper for a grinder. I haven't put salt in the other one yet because I have salt that's already basically been ground. But once I get like some sea salt or kosher salt, I'll probably put it in my salt grinder. Yeah, so we're gonna add some salt into here. And then a little bit of garlic. Because garlic is life. And then we'll add a little bit of onion powder. And add some dried chives to this. Alright. I'm gonna go get the baby. Hold on. Okay, so now that we have all our seasonings in there, we can go ahead and mix it in. I'm also gonna add some cheese to mine because I like a good bit of cheddar cheese. This is actually Mexican blend because that's what I have in the fridge, but typically when I make this I use cheddar. But this will be good too because it's basically cheddar, Monterey Jack, and a couple other things mixed together. So now we need to get this all mixed in. It's hard to mix this while holding it. Like this. I can't see through you. That's not working very well. Okay, so mine got the carrier, so this will be easier to stir. But yeah, just gonna mix this in, kind of fold it in, and then break up the chunks of chicken so we can get it nicely coated. So now that we got that all mixed in, this is how it looks. And this is a sandwich typically you would serve cold. You can also, if you wanted, get some flour tortillas and make it into a wrap instead of a sandwich. So that just depends on your preference there. You're gonna get your bread and you're gonna scoop some. You're gonna scoop some out and plop it right on top. Scoop some out, plop it on top, and then you want to kind of spread it evenly, but you want to keep it like thick too, so that it's nice and filling. Because if you just barely put any on there, it's gonna be kind of flavorless. It's not going to be very filling. So yeah, you want to kind of keep it on there and then spread it out relatively evenly. There we go. Like so. And then like that, you can just put the other piece of bread on and call it good and be done. However, I personally like to put some sour cream and onion chips on mine to give it a little bit of a crispy crunch factor. and sour cream and onion chips go really good with the flavors profile we have in here. But you could do other flavors if you wanted. You could do basic or sour cream and cheddar, just whatever you want. So then put the bread on there, and squish the chips down a little bit, and there you have it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it in half and get pretty plating of it, just because I believe in having pretty platings. So this is our finished chicken salad sandwich. Again, really basic, easy dish to make, and it's really great, especially like right after Easter weekend, because you could take some of those hard-boiled eggs you hid with your kids or that they found, whatever, with your family, and you can chop some of those up and put it in here too. So there you go, nice and easy, pretty good, simple. You can switch out the spinach for lettuce if you would prefer. This is great for picnics because once you get your mixture made, you can just go ahead and move it to a container that has a lid if you didn't mix it up in a container with a lid. So I mixed it up in a container that has a lid, so all I gotta do is pop a lid on that bad boy, and then you can take it like this. It's not gonna spill anywhere, it's not gonna be messy. And then you take your bread separately, that way it doesn't get soggy. And then you can bring like some chips, drinks, whatever. Perfect picnic food. Being on Bear Food Critic, let's try. Like that. Spinach and stuff like that. Try it. What you think? Do you like it, baby?